the book of Exodus. All right. Um, so I know that you are all scholars in the book of Genesis, Khan. And if I were to ask you a few questions about Genesis, you'll be easily answered. Since you just so if I said name all Jacob's children, would that be difficult? Ooh, boy. I stop. Would that be difficult? Hmm. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Yes. Oh, Khan. Hallelujah. Come on, say, all right. People usually done now, so I was, you know, but he gave me everybody. Gave me everybody. Hallelujah. All right. So why did the Most High create Eve? Could sister answer that question? Why? What? A what? A help what? Meat. Right. Meat to help meat for Adam. What does the word meat mean in biblical context? What does that word mean in that phrase? What does that word mean? What does that word meat mean? Does it mean like she's a piece of meat? I hope not. I think it's a little deeper than that, right? What does that meat mean? Hmm? Who remembers? Good. Good. It means good. All right. Meat means good. Everybody understand that? So she's a good help. Okay. A good help to Adam. That's why he gave her Eve. So she can be a good help. Right. Who's the only woman in the Bible that her name was changed? Um, okay. Huh? It was quick on that one. Hmm. I usually give a test, but I'm not going to give it because we got to get into this portion. So I'm just going to review a few questions. And why did they try to build the Tower of Babel? What were they trying to do? They want to reach, reach heaven and be like what? And be like gods, right? To reach heaven and be like God. So that was the key because they wanted to be like God. They wanted to have the power, right? They wanted to have the power of control. We live in a society right now where those that rule it believe that they're gods. This is why they don't uphold the words of the Most High because they figure, hey, I got a new set of laws, all right? Um, I won't go into that, all right? That's good. All right. Um, what happened to Lot's wife when she looked back? What we learned by that? What's the lesson learned there? Huh? God said not to what? Look back, right? No one, scripture say, no man put his hand to the plow looking back, right? Is worthy of the kingdom of heaven. So once you put your hand to this plow to do the you can't be looking back and saying, I'm a Hebrew now, but I miss Christmas. I miss Thanksgiving, right? There's no looking back. Everybody understand that? Once the Most High is elevated your spirit and your wisdom to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Holy Scriptures, his Torah, his laws, there's no looking back. There's definitely no going back, right? As they said, that's like a dog returning to his vomit, right? So we know that we learned through Lot's wife that once Most High wakes you up, you keep on this road, you keep going, right? See where the Most High takes you to, right? The cultures that you come from. Were taught different things because we're in the midst of different environments, different influences. But there's only one God, Khan, and there's only one law. So we coming all back from wherever we coming from to the same law, to the same God. All praises. I'm gonna ask one more question. Let me see here. Um, Somebody name all Jacob's wives. Say it louder, say it prouder. Who started saying? Zilpah and who? And Bilpah. Right. Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilpah. Okay. Yes, they were servant wives, but they were wives nonetheless. Right? Well, Jacob showed it possible, right? Okay. He definitely showed it to us in our history, along with many of our patriots. Okay. Um, oh, this one is good. This one is, what if I should give him this one? I think I'm gonna give this one prior to the break. I always have a test, but I wasn't gonna administer the test because we have 6 chapters, well, 5 chapters to go through, and the time is going to be a time restraint because we do have a lot of preparation that we need to be doing today for the Hebrew Summit. So that's why I'm just saying the some of the questions that's on the test, kind of doing a verbal review for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to get into the portion. All right. The Most High made a statement in Genesis, somewhere in Genesis, right? And the statement was, "Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen?" He asked that to someone. Who did he ask that to? All right. I'm good. I'm good. Let me see if no. Huh? The way he said the white man. He's going deep. He's going deep. Huh? Cain. That's right. Cain. Why did he say that to Cain? Sister. Um, right. Because his offering wasn't adequate. So when you bring something to the Most High, it must be adequate. Because if it's not adequate, the Most High will not accept it. Everybody understand that? You can't bring anything you feel like to the Most High. That thought pattern is a religious thought pattern. We get rid of that thought pattern as we come back to the Most High. The Most High has laws, statutes, commandments. He requires us to do things a certain way. And if we don't do it that way, we lose. Atara feels that she has a lot to say today. Sister Atara. She's probably prophesying. All right. So we're going to get into it. Let's get Colossians 3, verse 17. I believe that you all know Genesis, right? If anybody wants a written test, though, I do have them up here, right? And I will, or during the break, I'll give you one during the break. But
all right,
I want to miss to the test.
We had Colossians chapter 3, verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Hamashiach Yahushai, giving thanks to the Allahayim and Abanawa by him, by Hashem Hamashiach Yahushai, the Waratanyat Aman.
Right. So all things we do in word or deed, we do all thanking the Most High in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai. Give me Isaiah real quick before we get into the portion. 58 and 13. Verse 13 of Isaiah, book of Isaiah.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 13. Isaiah 58 and verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath,
Right?
from doing thy pleasure on my holy day.
What does he mean by that? Turn away your foot for the Sabbath. What does that mean? What does your foot represent? Your own ways, right? Your foot represents your own steps, what you want to do, how you want to do it. So he said, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy own ways, that means, on the Sabbath come in, you're no longer doing your own ways, right? When the Sabbath come in, you're going to follow the rules and the laws that's given to us for the Shabbat. What's some of the rules and laws given to us for the Shabbat? Feast, buying or selling, no kindling fire, keep it holy. You said no cleaning? Well, depends how. That's a little, you clean up, but it's not time to be, spring cleaning, right? And pulling out the couch and the wall unit, right? And pulling out the stove. It ain't time for that on the Shabbat, right? You can do that during the week, right? Laborious work, right? Noah? What that? Right, no intimacy, right? Absolutely, no intimacy on the Shabbat, huh? Right, yeah, you shut the whole house down, right? If you have your own business, can your business open on the Shabbat? No, right? Because all your work is supposed to be shut down on the Shabbat. It's not a time to be gaining wealth, right? It's not time to be in the marketplace on the Shabbat. Okay. Many of our foreparents, the Shabbat was a burden. It became a burden on them. Why? Because they didn't want to be ruled. They wanted to rule. They wanted to do what they felt like doing on the Shabbat, right? Hold that and give me Amos. How are you at in Isaiah? And when the Shabbats be gone, was that Amos 8? Amos 8 and 5?
The book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 5.
I'll start with verse 4.
Right. Amos chapter 8, verse 4. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy,
right?
Even to make the poor of the land to fail.
Come on.
Saying, when will the new moon be gone?
Right.
That we may sell corn.
That we may do what?
Sell corn.
So they said, when will the new moon be gone so we can what? Sell corn. We gonna make our money. Read on.
And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat.
And the Sabbath, that we might set out our tables and sell this wheat. So the new moon and the Sabbath to the wicked is a problem. Any day that you saying I can't buy and sell, I can't make my money, it's a problem. But that's the mentality of the wicked. Everybody understand that? Because a lot of times people think they're doing good because they're making money, right? That's the thought of prosperity in this kingdom. We said, well, I'm making money, so I'm not doing nothing wrong. But there's a time even not to make money. Everybody understand that? There's a time to shut down all your own purposes. Satisfying what you want. It's time to shut that down. Denying yourself. Right? The righteous spirit has the ability to deny himself or herself. Read on.
Amos 8, verse 5.
Come on.
Saying, when will the new moon be gone? That we may sow corn.
Come on.
And the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat.
Read on.
Making the ephah small,
Making the what?
ephah small,
Making the ephah small. Read on.
and the shekel great.
And the shekel great. What's an ephah and what is a shekel? My daughter right here. Ephah. Huh? A weight, right? So ephah is like a pound, it's like an ounce. It's a measurement of weight. Now, what is a shekel? Money, right? So what are you doing if you're making an ephah great and the shekel small? What are you doing? What are you doing? He said, what, inflation? What are you doing? If you make you're making the ephah small and you're making the shekel great, what are you doing? You say you're stealing, you're cheating. What else you doing? You're giving you less for more, right? You're being a fraud, right? You're being a fraud. See, we're so used to fraudulent behavior, we don't realize that it's a sin. Do you know it's a sin to be a fraud? Give me Leviticus 19. Leviticus 19. Right? We cannot fraud one another. I think 1915.
Start 11. Should not steal. Neither deal falsely.
It's 13. You can start with 11, you saying?
Yeah.
All right, start with verse 11.
We are Leviticus 19, verse 11.
Let's get it.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 11.
Come on.
Ye shall not steal,
Right?
neither deal falsely.
Neither do what?
Neither deal falsely.
Neither deal falsely. So the law of the Most High says we cannot have false dealings with one another amongst the children of Israel. We cannot steal from one another, nor have false dealings. We're trying to get over financially. Read on.
Neither lie one to another.
Neither lie one to another, right? So we cannot lie to your fellow brother and sister in Asherah. Read on.
And ye shall not swear by my name falsely.
Right? Don't blame the Most High for your wickedness. Read on.
Neither shalt thou profane the name of Yahweh of thy power. I am Yahweh thy power.
Right, because you're gonna what? You're bringing a stain not only on yourself but on the name of the Most High. Because when you call yourself an Israelite in the Hebrew Yasharallah, you said you are a prince of power. You say you're related and you reflect the ways of the Heavenly Father. So if you steal and you're a fraud, then what are you saying about the Most High? That he's a fraud also. All right, read on.
13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not what?
Defraud thy neighbor.
Thou stand there. You cannot deal treacherously with one another. All right, and try to call it good business. I'm a good businessman. Right? There's ethics on how we deal with one another. Read on.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him.
Right?
The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
Right. That's going into someone that's working for you, that you pay them when they're supposed to be paid. Right? Not when you feel like it. In this kingdom, we work 2 weeks, and then they want to pay you. They make money every day, and you got to wait 2 weeks for your money. All right? What you say?
It's dealing with business wise. Now, let's say of ignorance, someone is working for the next person. This is all in Israel, not any heathen dealing with Israel. Israel dealing with Israel. And one brother sets a certain amount, what he should be charged for service. But through his ignorance of not knowing, let's say he underbid, and you knowing that you have to pay him, that he made a mistake. What should that person do? Should that person be a fraud and just say, you know what, I'm gonna pay him less than what the service is worth, or should they open up their mouth? You know what I mean, and let them know like where their faults at?
Right. Right. That's an easy answer. Right? Easy answer, but I see you raising your hand. No, I don't want a precept. I want an answer, because that's going to go into something else, and we have to explain that precept. All right. Give me a straight answer. What do you think? His question is, someone underbid to do a job. You have $1,000 worth of work. They say they'll do it for 200. Do you tell that person that they shouldn't? You let them know. That's right. You let them know. You let them know. But then you'll be frauding that person. You know that this job is worth more than that, way more than that, right? So you can't allow him to do that, and then watch him go fail, right? That's like setting someone up to fail and just sitting back and watch them fail. Esau will do it in a minute, right? That's a whole nother story. The scripture said, "Rob them that robbed you." That's a whole nother story. All right, we ain't talking about them, right? Go ahead. Right, but that's right. That's right. That's right. It's being a fraud, right? Right, go ahead, sis. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you want to you want to correct that person. All right. If you're setting themselves off to fail, you do not suffer your brother to sin and fail. When he fails, then what you going to say? Right? You knew it was coming. All right. So in right business with the Most High, right, we're going to not defraud each other. All right. We're not going to steal. We're not going to put a stumbling block, right, in front of the blind or curse to death, right? Mean that we don't want to set people up to fail. Okay. All right. So let's go back to Amos. Amos 8 and 5.
The book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 5.
Come on.
Saying, when will the new moon be gone,
Uh-huh.
that we may sell corn,
Come on.
and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat,
Read.
making the ephah small and the shekel great?
Right. So defrauding. These people, all they want to do is make money. They don't care how they go about doing it. They don't care who they defraud. Right. They talk about it all the time. We hear about it all the time, right? On a paper chase, right? 24/7 trying to get this money, right? And they gloat about it, right? As it's supposed to be something so great and wonderful. But there's a time for get rich, die trying, right? You hear all these sayings, but you don't realize how wicked what they're saying really is. Right? Read on.
And falsifying.
And do what?
And falsifying.
And falsifying, read on.
The balances by deceit.
By what?
By deceit.
By deceit, being deceitful to one another. Okay. Being deceitful to one another. That's where it all ends up. Okay. So if we don't have this mentality, putting the Most High first in everything we do, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, whether it's whatever aspect of life, you put the Most High first, and then you will govern yourself correctly. All right. There's laws, statutes, commandments to cover every way of your life. Right? Everything you wear, you eat, everything. There's laws that govern these things. Go back to Isaiah. Back all the way back to Isaiah 58 and 13 now. Isaiah 58, verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High, honorable, and shall honor him.
And shall what?
And shall honor him.
And shall honor him. Go ahead.
Not doing thy own ways.
But not doing what?
Not doing thy own ways.
So it's only, what's the word honor? Another word for the word honor. Respect, right? So just to respect the Most High, we have to keep our Sabbaths. It's just a form of respect. Because he gave us all 7 days. Huh? Who gave us days but the Most High? Right? In the beginning, he created all that we see. And he gave us how many days to work? 6 days. And he redeemed back 1 day, which is the 7th day. Okay? The 6 days that you've been doing what you deem important, what you will to do, you deserve those 6 days by giving back your 7th. Everybody understand? Very simple concept. Okay? I give you 6, you give me back 1. Right? That's what the Most High said. That's not difficult, but for some of us, we make it difficult. We want all 7 days, right? And go see the Most High when it's convenient for us. We got to consider what we do. All right. The scriptures say, if you sow sparingly, you're gonna reap sparingly. If you're gonna do the Most High's will when it's comfortable and convenient, And then when it suits you, and when it doesn't, you do what you want to do. That's how the Most High gonna deal with
He
you.
could have gave us 6 days for the Sabbath,
That's right. It could give us 6 hours and gave us one day.
and then give us 1 day.
Then you'd be crying. All right. Go back, read on.
Especially come time to do the pleasures and all that. 1 day
Read it. 1 day.
and work.
That's it.
All right. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from
Right.
doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and
Mhm.
call the Sabbath a delight,
And do it and like it and love it. All right. I look forward to this Shabbat every week. Hallelujah. This is the best day of the week right here. All right. All week, you go on to work, you're doing this, you're doing that. Man, I can't wait to get back to the Sabbath. Right. Looking forward to see. Right. Read on.
the holy of the Most High, honorable, and shall honor him,
Right.
not doing thy own ways,
Right.
nor finding thy own pleasure,
Uh-huh.
nor speaking thy own words.
Come on.
Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High.
Then once you get that down to yourself in the Most High, then you start to realize how great he really is, man. Right? How gracious all the things that he has given unto us. Because in the Shabbat, you're going to give that time over to dwelling in him and him only. During this, when the sun goes down Friday to the sun goes down Saturday is the Shabbat. Everybody understand that? From the sun goes down Friday, so-called Friday on the 6th day, when the sun goes down on the 6th day, right? The Shabbat begins. Now, you may be in your homes. You may be, well, you should be in your homes. If not in transition, it's still Shabbat. Wherever you are, it's Shabbat when that sun goes down on the 6th day. Everybody understand that? That's when it all begins. So now, if you want to come into the 6th day, which has a name, the 6th day is also called the day of preparation. Right? He gave us the 6th day to prepare for the 7th day. So this way, you're not running into the Shabbat, right? Unprepared. Everybody understand that? You have a whole day. So when the sun goes down Thursday, your mentality is what? I need to prepare for Shabbat. On Thursday, you should be preparing for it. So there's no reason why we should be running into the Shabbat like we didn't know it was coming, right? Like we didn't know, oh man, is it Shabbat already? Right? We should have been preparing the whole day ahead. All right. And so you could come into the Shabbat in the right spirit. Okay. Get whatever business you need to get taken care of, get it taken care of. All right. If you even see Amalek, the so-called white man who was taking our identity, even he shuts his shop down when the latest he'll go on a Friday, I think, is noon, if not open at all. Why is that? Because he's preparing for Shabbat. Okay. He has our records. He read it and followed it. What happened is we went a long time without our own records. We didn't know all this pertaining to us. We had the Bible, but we didn't know all that was written pertaining to us. So now, as we understand that all that is written pertains to us, we start to understand we have to prepare for Shabbat, the day of preparation, the day before. If you need to do double on that day, do double on that day so that you can rest on the Shabbat day. Everybody understand that? I know we're in captivity and sometimes we have things that are out of our control. We have laborers at our jobs and things of that sort that may bring us close up into the Shabbat, but we still can do what we can in the time allotted to prepare. Okay? Do what you can to prepare. All right. If you work Monday through Friday, which a lot of people do, you might get up for 5 o'clock. If you work a 9 to 5, you only got about an hour or two before Shabbat come in. You need to deal with that things Thursday night. Right? Thursday night, you need to deal with what you need to do because you don't have time between 5 and 6:30 or 7 for Shabbat come in. You don't have time. Everybody understand that? So we don't want to just say, oh, well, I'm in captivity. This is why I can't prepare. No, you can prepare. Right? You have to put more effort into it and start earlier your preparation. That's all. Okay. Read on.
Isaiah 58, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High,
Read.
and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places.
I will do what?
Cause thee to ride upon the high places.
The Most High said, if you delight in him, he's going to cause you to ride upon the high places. Read on.
Of the earth.
Of the earth. What's the high places of the earth? It's talking about on the mountaintops? What is it talking about? authority, power, head, not the tail, right? These are the things that the Most High promised unto us, right? Even being at peace, right? Because you're doing the will of the Most High. Heavenly Father told us, he said, when a man's ways please the Most High, even his enemies will be at peace with him. People that wish for you harm can't come against you because the Most High is protecting you. Everybody understand that? So there's blessings that we get right now. We ain't talking about the kingdom because the kingdom is the future. But right now, there's blessings for keeping the Most High's commandments that you will experience every day if you put the effort forth to do well in the sight of the Most High. All right? You don't want to be like Cain, your countenance falling, right? Because your sacrifice is not good enough. You want to do all that you need to do to make sure that what you give to the Most High is receive the blessing of Yahweh. Read on.
Isaiah 58, verse 14. Then shalt thou delight thyself in the Most High, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth.
Come on.
And feed thee with the heritage of Jacob,
and
thy
feed
father.
with what?
With the heritage of Jacob, thy father.
And feed you with your heritage. You don't get your heritage back. You're getting your heritage back here, right? What happened to your heritage? What happened to it? We were discontinued from it. So the Most High said, if we keep his Sabbaths, he's going to give you your heritage back. So we do need to go back and learn about how we were, how we interacted, how we served the Most High. All these things, you're going to get back to those things. You don't have to be black anymore, right? Black is a color. Put it back on the color board. Put it back in the crayon box. That doesn't represent who you are anymore. You're not black. You're not Negro, which is just another way of saying black. Trying to trick you, right? Right? You're not niggas, right? We're not Caribbean. We're not West Indian. We're not Jamaican. We're not Guyanese. We're not Haitian. We're not Mexican. We're not Peruvian. We're not Ecuadorian. Right? The Most High is giving us our heritage back. Hallelujah. We are the 12 tribes of Israel, chosen of the Most High to be his people. All these other names and bywords and proverbs we picked up along the way, they all go behind us now. Okay. Read on.
For the mouth of the Most High have spoken it. That's it.
Read on.
Behold, Isaiah 59, verse 1. Behold, the Most High's hand is not shortened that it cannot save.
Come on.
Neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear.
Read.
But your iniquities.
Your what?
Your iniquities.
Our what?
But your iniquities.
Our iniquities, come on,
have separated between you and your power.
Right. So it's our own sins that hold back these things from us. So what we learning, what we focusing right now on is the Shabbat day. We don't want to find ourselves in sin on Shabbat. So we want to make sure we're keeping this day. We have a service on Friday night as well. All right. Elder Bishop Lapalau leads that service. All right. Where they go into a lot of the historical accounts. All right. A lot of what's called the Haftorah. The Haftorah begins with the book of Joseph. All right. Joshua. Joseph will have a book. Joshua, right? And goes on the Haftorah. They go into a lot of that time period in the Friday service. Starts at 7, I believe, 7:30. 7-ish, right? Starts at 7, right? On Fridays, right? If you can, if it's possible, make it to that service. So you're gonna get a lot of history, a lot of heritage, a lot of understanding. If it's if coming down to the Shabbat Saturday is what you can do, then just come Saturday. But if you're able to make both, right? We also have Wednesday wisdom, right? And for the men, we have Thursday soldier class, right? So our men gird up their loins, like men. All right, so they don't have loose loins. Right, their loins is tight and strong. That's why I learned they don't want no loose loins in Israel. Right, they got to be strong. Right, but strength is needed because we live in times where strength is needed. Con? Well, we live in a time where strength is needed. It's not time to be a jelly belly. It's not time to be scared. It's not time to be too lax. It's time to stand forward for the Most High. You understand that? All right. So that's what the Most High called us to be soldiers. The God we serve is a man of war. Thus saith the Most High. So we got to keep that in mind. We all going to have battles to go through. We can't be soft, right? There's a time for being soft, but then it's a time to be, right? To be strong, to be hard. Right? The time for all things under the sun, right? We got to know the time. So we're doing the right thing in the right time, right? That's wisdom. That's what wisdom do. It lets us know what time it is, right? All right. So we're going to start the Shamot, the name, the book of Exodus. I'm going to go to Exodus 1:1, all right? I hope we all have a delightful Shabbat day. I thank everyone here for coming out and keeping the Shabbat with us. All right. This place is just a building without you. You make it the church. You make it. You bring the presence of the Most High with you. He said he's in the midst of the people. Right. So I'm going to read a little bit of a history of the book of Exodus. All right. So the Exodus, the time period of Exodus is we're reading about 1450 to 1400 BC. So the time period we're reading about, when we read about Exodus, it's about 1400 to 1450 BC. Okay. The time span that we spent in Egypt was approximately 431 years. Okay. They named the book Exodus. Why? Because what happened during the time we were in that time, right? To exit, right? It was an exit of a nation. Now, originally the name of the book was called Shamot because we became a nation in Egypt. Okay. But we also exited Egypt. So Exodus means to exit. But the Hebrew name for this book, Shamot, means to name. All right. I think we can go into it now. Exodus 1, verse 1. Let's read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 1. Now these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt. Every Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already.
Read.
And Joseph died, and all his brethren. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all the generation.
And all that generation.
And all that generation.
So that first generation of Israelites, right, they died. They passed on, right? They got old and they passed on, right? So the original sons of Jacob, as well as Jacob, right, they all passed in Egypt. Okay. We read in the last chapter of Genesis, right, that this is when Joseph yielded up the spirit. And prior to that, Jacob yielded up the spirit. Okay. So we know that they both are with the Most High. And now we know all the brothers also passed on. Okay. Read on.
And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty.
Mm-hmm.
And the land was filled with them.
Right. So we had a lot of children, right? And we outpopulated the Egyptians. You know, we had a lot of siblings, a lot of children, and our families grew quickly. Read on.
Now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Right, come on.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens.
Mm-hmm.
And they built for Pharaoh treasures, cities, Pithom and Ramses.
And Ramses. So what happened? The people, once the leaders of the people realized that we were growing at such a rapid pace, what did they do? What did they give us? More what? More jobs. Right? More jobs. Right? That's what people say they need. We need to work more. Right? That's a way to keep you what? That's right. Occupied. All right. So they gave us more work. Why did they give us more work? What were they fearing? Our number. They were fearing that our families was growing so strong that we were having too much of us and we were getting too mighty. So they gave us more work to do. So what is the work supposed to stop us from doing? From multiplying, right? Right. Right. You got time for it now. Right. It's the same concept. Right. You don't have time for this family. Now, in this society where we are now, you got to work. Your wife got to work. Listen, might have a couple of children, but man, after 2 or 3, man, you start sweating now. Right? When she said she pregnant that 4th time, you start like, really? You was excited the first 2 times. That 3rd time, like, okay. That 4th time, you're like, all right. And you start beating sweat coming down your face. Why? Because it costs. And it's time. And it doesn't cost just money. It costs time. And because the way this system is, this is a linear system. This is you trade time for money, right? This is a linear income system in this. You could come out of that system, but for the most part, you trade time for money in this kingdom. So you keep you working, you won't be able to do a lot of things, right? Parash. Right. He's a smart president. He's gonna keep y'all Negroes working. Right? So you don't have time to what? To start to rebuild and think outside of the box. Read on.
Verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
They were what?
Grieved because of the children of Israel.
Right. So the Egyptian officials were upset because of the population and the strength of the children of Israel. They wasn't happy to see you grow in large numbers. Right? That wasn't say they didn't look back and say, "Oh, look how great they're growing, how great they're doing." The Egyptians were upset, especially the officials. Which when it says they were upset, it's talking about the governmental officials. Okay, read on.
Okay. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor.
Right.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
Right.
In mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
With what?
Rigor.
What does that word rigor mean? What does the word rigor mean? Somebody give me the definition of the word rigor. Look it up for me and give me the definition of the word rigor. He said, all the service we serviced them, they made us service it with rigor. All right. So let's look at the word rigor because it's very important we understand that. Because what kind of occupation did the Israelites have when they came to Egypt? It says sheep herders. Right. So meaning that what? Hard work. You're going to sweat. Right? You're going to work hard. It ain't going to be an easy day. Okay. They made sure that you worked with rigor. That you work long hours. 8 hours, 10 hours a day. Right? Early in the morning, you getting up and then you coming back sun already went down. Man. Barely see your house in the daytime, right? Sound familiar? Uh huh. Uh huh. That's right. They had to. The children had to labor. They came out with a child labor laws, right? They came out with a law saying that a child cannot start working to what age in Florida? 16? I thought it was 14. It's 14. It's 16? It's 14. That's what I thought. 14. I got my working papers when I was 14. So I remember, right? So I can remember that far ago, right? But 14 is an age where you are allowed to work. No, you're not allowed to not go to school, but you're allowed to get a job on the books, get a W-2 at the age of 14. Okay. You working at Poppy's restaurant or something, but you ain't got no papers, washing cars or something. But according to the U.S. government, right, 14 years old, you're allowed to be employed and start paying Social Security. All right, at the age of 14. All right, so that law was set in place. Why? It was like Yehuda was bringing out is that they had our children working from the time they could walk. They had them pulling something, putting a labor on. From the time they can carry something, they had them laboring. Okay, because they knew that this would be a way of oppressing the people, keeping them busy with rigor and with work. Everybody understand that? This is not coincidental. This is a system, right? A lot of stuff that Esau does, he learned from the people that he models his government after, right? Babylon was the first model to what Egypt was doing, right? Then what? Rome took on a lot of Egypt's customs. America took on a lot of Romans' customs. They follow the same customs. Okay, so I want you to understand that this is an ongoing system on how to oppress a people. All right, let's read.
Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives,
All right,
of which the name of the one was that
Sapphira. The name of one was Sapphira.
Right. And the name of the other was
Sapphira.
Puha. And he said, when ye do the office of the midwife,
right,
to the Hebrew women,
come on,
and see them upon the stools,
right,
if it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
Come on.
But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Right. So now, why would they kill the sons and spare the daughters? What happens between the man? What does the man bring? Right, the seed. Right. Right. Hold that. Give me Numbers 1 and 8.
Oh, Numbers. Okay.
1 and 18. Yeah. It's Numbers 1 and 18. Let's get that understanding. They understood why they were doing this. They understood genealogy. They understood genes. Right? Read that. You got it?
Got it. Numbers 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families,
right,
by the house of their fathers.
By the house of their what?
By the house of their fathers.
Come on.
According to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls.
Right. So why did their pedigree was by the house of their fathers, meaning that you are of your father's house. Everybody understand that? That's the seed that makes you. The seed comes from the man, right? Yes, you have attributes. Yes, there's a maternal link to your mother and her line, but you are a seed of your father. Everybody understand that? All right. So this is why they were killing the males and saving the females alive, because they knew that if you have a bunch of females with no males, who's going to end up laying with the females? The Egyptians. So they were able to use our women to preserve themselves, right? That's what their idea was. Use our women to preserve themselves. Then they teach you, in this society, they teach you, oh, once you have a drop of black blood, you're black. They know that's not true. You are seed of your father. All right. So no matter what you look like, right, in your features, your complexion, you are seed of your father. Everybody understand that? So you can have, for instance, an Edomite seed of the white man look just like one of us. Everybody understand that? And vice versa. Everybody understand that? That's right. So you gotta be mindful of that, right? So that's why we judge by the spirit and not by sight. All right. The spirit will let you know what you're dealing with, right? When you converse with that person. Okay. Let's read.
Verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
But the midwives feared the Most High and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them.
Right. But the midwives, they feared the Most High. They wasn't going to kill no male child because they knew what's the punishment for killing someone? Death. And they feared the Most High. They knew if they killed these babies, that they would be killed. Because that's what's supposed to happen. But now and today, we have what? Planned Parenthood. We have abortion clinics. Babies are being killed. And who's getting killed for them being killed? Nobody. Right? Nobody's getting judged for their deaths. Their deaths are going no justice. All right? Unavenged their deaths. All right? So we know that that's not the way the Most High. This is what they were trying to do. They were trying to abort the child, but after the child was born, right? If they saw it was what they wanted, go. If it wasn't, kill him. Okay? That's a form of oppression. Everybody understand that? Remember, he's doing all these things. Why? Because he was afraid of the number of us and said, I need to implement these policies in order to prevent them from growing as a nation. So that was the motive of these things, of telling the midwives, kill the male child. Right? So that's the motivation. So when we look at the motivation, why they're doing, then we understand why the males are targeted so heavily. All right? Right? To find themselves incarcerated, to find themselves considered a threat, considered a problem, right? Why is it males targeted more? And I'm not saying our females are not targeted because they are as well, but our males are targeted more. Why? Because in them is the seed of the nation. Everybody understand that? It's that way to this day. All right? We have to understand there's a reason for these things. All right? It's not, by chance. All right? Let's read.
All right, verse 18. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing and have saved the men children alive?
Right.
And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women.
You said the Hebrew women, they not like the Egyptian women. Right? So this was their excuse why they didn't kill the babies. But why didn't they kill the babies on a real reason? They feared the Most High. Those women feared the Most High. They said, nah, I ain't doing that. And getting problem with the Most High. They knew that was wrong. A mother knows that's wrong to kill a child. Right? A mother don't have in their spirit, they're like, nah, I'm not gonna kill their babies. Right? Because they themselves will bring forth babies. Right? So they had a conscience when it comes to that. All right. Read on.
And the midwives said unto Pharaoh,
because
the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women.
Come on.
For they are lively and are delivered, the midwives come in unto them.
Right. So they said, man, they deliver their own babies. So by the time we come to deliver the baby already delivered. That's what they told Pharaoh, right? That the Hebrew women was delivering their own babies. All right. Read on.
Therefore the Most High dealt well with the midwives,
Uh-huh.
and the people multiplied because the midwives feared the Most High, that He made them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
Right. So the Most High intervened with these midwives and blessed them for what? For saving the children of Israel. He blessed these Egyptian midwives, man, right? And said, "Nah, I'm gonna give them houses. They're gonna be all right." Moses said, "I'm not gonna let no torment come to those midwives because they what? They were saving the children of Israel, right? Because the Most High told us that he will bless them that bless who? He will bless him that bless us, and he will curse them that what? That curses us. That's part of the decree of the Most High. So these nations want to curse us, they're doing it to themselves, right? But one that blesses us, they will be blessed. Okay. So these midwives were covered and protected because of what they did for the children of Israel. All right, let's read chapter 2.
Chapter 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi,
Mm-hmm.
and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months.
Right, for 3 months, she hid her son. Why was she hiding her son? Because what were they doing? How were they killing them now? And throwing them in the river, gator bait. Right. That's what they did. That's what they did here in Florida. Right. That's part of the history of Florida as well. They call them gator babies. Right. Right. Crocodiles over there. Right. Yeah. Crocodile bait. But today, here in this America, they did the same thing. You're going to see a lot of similarities as we go through the captivity in Egypt and the captivity here in America. They learned it from the records of Egypt. All right. They didn't make these things up. They were doing the wickedness. It comes from history, people. And they went to try to deal with things a similar way. Okay. The Egyptians, we were a problem to the Egyptians because of our number and our strength. We wasn't coming up against them, but just them seeing us in number is a problem. Don't you realize that? If we gather together, we all going into some place and we stand together. You know, police coming, right? You know, police is coming, right? Somebody's going to call the police. Why are they going to call the police? Because they're going to say, what? There's a mob, right? We can't gather. The fear comes into play.
Yeah, we was on what's that, Dixie? Was that Dixie, right? And Cypress Creek. Cypress Creek. And they called the police on us twice before we even said a word.
Why? It was too much of y'all.
Yeah, it was a lot of us. Yeah. So they called and they said we had guns.
Yeah.
And we had knives.
We had guns and knives. Right. Yeah. And we had Bibles, right? All we had was Bibles. But they saw guns and knives, right? Yeah. To show you that these things it's not how could I say coincidental. This is a spirit. This is something that goes over the whole nation. Anywhere that we gather in numbers, they're gonna say there's a mob there, right? Some suspicious activity is going on over there. Why is there so much of them together? Right? If we were all Caucasian, right, and we gathered there, they would say, "Well, it must be a class. This must be some sort of learning expedition. Yeah. What are you guys doing here?" Right?
Say it to me. The police officer was actually really nice. He wasn't like, really
no,
snobby.
They called him. Somebody called him.
But he came over and he told us that he actually went to the gas station that's over there, the Speedway, and spoke to the person behind the counter. And he said, as long as they're not stopping my people from buying gas, police officer, he was cool with it.
Right.
And then somebody got hit by a car while we were standing out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh. That Most High set a diversion right there. All right. Sis, you got your hand up? Right. No three together. Exactly. Right. It was considered they were a conspiracy or something. Too much of y'all standing in one spot. What are you guys talking about? Right.
Same thing that's going on today, man.
Right.
5 of us in the car, Grand Theft Auto, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So just
Yeah.
keep that in mind that these things come from a long way. Right. We might look at Esau, but he is not the creator of these things. Okay. He's carrying these things, but he's not the creator. Right. This is coming all the way from Egypt. Anytime a nation wants to oppress us and come against the children of Israel, they use these same tactics. All right. He's using those same tactics. All right. He's not the creator of hatred. He's just the carrier of it. Okay. Let's read on.
We had Exodus chapter 2. I'll start at 1 again. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and there's a daub bed with a
And
slime,
daubed it. Yeah.
with a slime
Uh-huh.
and with pitch, and put the child therein.
Right.
And she laid it in the flags by the river's bank.
Right. So she daubed it. She created a little bassinet that floats. Right. Her daubing it with the slime will prevent it from gathering water. So she put a coating on the bottom of it. So she puts it into the river, this thing won't sink. It won't collect water. It won't sink. Read on.
And his sister stood afar off, to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river.
Right. So she didn't just put the baby in the river and walk away. What did she do? She hid and watched what was going to happen with her child. Right. All right. Where's going to happen? What's going to happen? Like any parent would do. Right. Go ahead. Absolutely. 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 All things was written for it before they was even done. All things were created before it was even done. Remember, we are. That's why they call the Bible a script. All right. What's a script to a movie? All right. A script is what you got to follow, but it's already written. What role you going to play is the question. All right. Where you fit into the script. Script is written from the beginning to end. All right. There's a verse I'm thinking about, but if you want to read on, I think it's in Ezra, but we'll read
And
on.
the daughter of Pharaoh came down
said
to
he wrote
wash
everything.
herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she set her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child. And behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children.
Read on.
Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Take this child away and nurse it for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it.
Mm-hmm.
And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, Because I drew him out of the water.
Right. So she adopted this child. Right. He said he became his son. Right. So what we're learning here is that the couple of things that the Egyptians and the Hebrews, right, had similar attributes, visage, right? It looked similar, right? She took this child right into her house and says, "I'll call him Moses because he drew him for the one," and he became her son, and he rose up. Okay, he, they had the nursing mothers, the ones that were still lactating. They had mothers that were still lactating. They would be nursing mothers. They would nurse other children other than their own. Right. Same thing they did when historically here in America. Right. The same thing they did to us. America. What? Mammy. Right. It was to nurse their children. Things of that sort. Right. They said they still have them. Right. Go ahead. That's right. How do we know?
because they had the cloth.
Because of circumcision, right? Who have the law of circumcision? The Hebrews, right? So when he was 8 years old, trust me, he was circumcised, right? Didn't write about it, but we know that's the custom coming down from Abraham, right? Yitzhak and Yaakov, right? That we are to be circumcised on the 8th day, all right? Plus, not only did she know that, but she knew the baby was in the river. So she knew what was going on here, because the decree went forth that what? That all the Hebrew male child should be what? Thrown in the river. But this baby was on the brushes, floating, right? So she took this baby, right? But she knew that was a Hebrew, because all the Hebrew babies, men babies, were being thrown in the rivers. No. That's right. That's right. The midwives, the Most High protected them though, and gave them houses, right? Right. That's right. So they had to hide their children. We literally had to hide our male children. Like she was hiding them for 3 months. And she said, well, she couldn't hide them no longer, meaning that there was some close calls. People were searching. You know what I mean? They heard there was a baby around here, right? And she's trying to keep the baby quiet and hide the baby. They had to go through all these things. Okay. Yuda? Right? Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Right. That was beautiful. Right. That was beautiful. Did everybody catch on to that? That it ended up being the mother herself, right? To nurse as one of the nursing mothers. She ended up being the nursing mother of her own child, right? So she rose her child within the house of Pharaoh. But the child called um, Pharaoh's sister mother, but not realizing he was around his mother all the time. Okay. All right. And that shows you that what? Again, that the Egyptians and the Hebrews, they look alike. We got some Egyptian hieroglyphics, right? That when you look at, there's no way that the so-called white man is a Jew. There's no way. There's no historical event that makes him a Jew. Well, I'll get there. All right. Although today, this is what he tries to say. How he got this from that, right? Right? How did he do this? This is a modern day, they reconstructed Nefertiti, and now she's a white woman, right? And these are the ancient hieroglyphics where they clearly are brown, right? Right, brother? That's right. They confused Paul with an Egyptian. So you could tell they were brown. They bring that nonsense out, as we're going to fall for that. But then again, this is a book by Arthur Koestler. It's called The 13th Tribe, with a picture of Amalek on the front. Because the only way the white man is a Jew, they have to have been a what? A 13th tribe, and there was only 12 tribes, right? So there's only one way he can be the Jew, if there was another tribe that we're not aware of. Okay, so we know that, and this is by Arthur Koestler, a very popular book, a writer that wrote about, the propaganda of the so-called fake Jew, right? And this book here, um, by Shlomo Sands, another author, the title of this book is The Invention of Jewish People. The invention of Jewish people. It was something that was invented, okay, way before 1948, but it was established as in 1947, right, as a place. 48, 1948 as a state. Truman, under President Truman, established their country as a state, but they've been doing this long before that, right? We can go back to the Maccabees when they were taking our Bibles and painting themselves as our people. So they've been doing it a long time before that. But Truman, President Truman, American President Truman, established Israel as a state and established them as a recognized nation, Esau as a so-called Jew. But the nations knew better. They knew way better. All right, so we're going to read on.
We had Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren.
One of his what?
One of his brethren.
Right. So he saw a Egyptian smiting a Hebrew. One of his brethren, man, saying that what? One of his nation, one of his kindred, his people. Read on.
And he looked this way at that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian,
right,
and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
So Moses was gangster, right? He saw one of his brews getting ill treated, and he went there and what? And avenged him and ended up killing the Egyptian. Hid the body, right? And kept it on the hush, on the low, right? You know what I'm saying? You put it, and now, of course, he think nobody saw him, but people saw him, right? So now we got two Hebrews fighting. Read on.
Verse 14. And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us?
Right. So when he came to stop them from fighting, they turned to him and said, who made you Lord over us? Moses. Right. Read on.
Intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian?
As thou did what?
Kill the Egyptian.
That's when you get that bum bum bum. Right. He said, I know he was like, right, like these cats know, right? He thought that was on the low, but news travels in the hood, right? So everybody knew what you did, Moses. You think we didn't know that you killed that Egyptian and hit him in the grab? We weren't gonna say nothing, but don't act like we don't know how you get down, right? Read on.
And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known.
Right, read on.
Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses.
Right, so now the story then got all the way up to Pharaoh, right? So many snitches in the nation. The thing went all the way up to Pharaoh that he did this thing. Read on.
Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well.
Right, so he left out of Egypt. He went into the land of Midian. So let's what Babakushah to Zion. Does it show Midian? It should show Midian on that map. It shows Marah, Elam. You gotta put up another map that can show us where Midian is.
It's on the right side where the ear is, bottom of the mountain. On the bottom right of the map.
You can see it.
So right where it looks like the peace sign on the right side, right where those mountains are on that right side, like it looks like on the bottom right above, it looks like an ear. If you look at like a rabbit with 2 ears, on the right ear, just below where the tip is, and those mountains right there on the right, that's the area. Supposed to be that area.
Oh, you're just saying where the area is. I thought you were saying it said it. We're looking for the where it say it. No, we wanted to say it. Yeah, you want something that's labeled with our area of Midian, so they can see it. Yeah, Midian is over here, but we want to see where it's. We'll read on while he's trying to find that map that shows us where Midian is.
Verse 16. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters,
Mhm.
and they came and drew water and filled their troughs to water their father's flock.
Right?
And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock.
Right. So you're starting to see the type of man Moses was. Are we starting to see that? Right. So he stood up when the Egyptians smote the Hebrew. He stood up when he saw the 2 Hebrews fighting. Now he's in the land of Midian, and these shepherds is what? Bullying these daughters of the priest. And what does he do? He stood up. Moses is. Everybody catching on? He was the type of man that stood up. Right? Sometimes we have to look into our forefathers, our great men, and see what kind of personality did they have. Were they laid back? Were they just just letting things happen? Or did they stand up for what was right? Did they stand against it? Did they oppose evildoers? Show you that Moses was the type of man to oppose evil, but it was done in his sight. Everybody understand that? All right. So that's the type of man that the Most High can use. Everybody understand that? If you can just let everything just be what it is and don't stand up for what's right, the Most High can't use you. You understand that? That's why oftentimes when we go out there and we teach the people, they take it the wrong way. We're standing up for what's right. Right? There's an old saying that if you don't stand for something, you're going to what? You're going to fall for everything. Right? You're going to fall for everything. So we have to stand up, especially our men. Our men have to stand up. Hallelujah. This is required of the Most High. You got Midian for me now? All right. I see right here. Midian. See at the bottom? Well, for you guys, right side of the screen, Midian. Okay. So that's where he went. He left out of Egypt. See where Egypt is at? And he fled all the way to Midian. So he didn't just leave out of Egypt and he left and fled to get to Midian. Midian is not that near Egypt. Everybody see that? All right. So
Florida went to North Carolina.
he went a lot far away to get to the land of Midian. He fled from the face of Egypt. Now, Egypt itself was occupying a lot of this area that is now called the peninsula. Egypt at that time was, why was Egypt so big? Who remembers? Because of what? Not that it was the world power. Because of the famine. Remember the famine, all the neighboring countries sold land to Egypt for food. So at this time, Egypt was huge. Where all that famine was, Egypt owned that land. It started, as the famine passed, started cultivating that land for the Egyptian. Right? As time went on, they lost the land back and the borders went back. But at that time, Egypt was huge. All right? Everybody understand that? Okay. Let's read on.
Verse 18. Exodus 2 and 18. And when they came to Ruel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today?
Right.
And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us.
So what did they call Moses? A what? Moses, they called him an Egyptian. So Hollywood can't fool you with Charleston Heston, right? They can't fool you with what was the latest one? That was Moses. Gosh, I don't remember his name either. Some English guy, man. I don't know. But they can't fool you with any of these Edomites posing as Moses, right? Because they see the Midianites saw Moses and said, behold the Egyptian. Why they call him an Egyptian? Because one, his attire and his visage, how he looked, his face, right? So that's the proof you have when people say the white man called himself a Jew and he's not a Jew, right? The proof is right here in the scriptures. You go right here and they said they saw Moses, they call him an Egyptian. How can he be a white man then? It's impossible. All right, let's read.
Verse 19 again. And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread.
Right. So the father said, I need to reward this man because he helped y'all out. Why did y'all leave him? You should have brought him with you to bring him to your father. Read on.
And Moses was content to do well with the man.
Right.
And he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter.
Right. So Moses was content to do well with the man, meaning that what? He wanted to dwell with him, right? To dwell with him, to work with him, to stay with him. He was content to do that. So then the man said, okay, well, let me give you my daughter as a wife. So the man have a wife, all right? Because in the sight of Most High, a man, right, should have a wife, correct? All right, let's read.
Read it again. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter, and she bare him a son. He called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto the Most High by reason of the bondage.
By what?
By the reason of the bondage.
So by the reason of the bondage, they cried out, right, onto the Most High. Right? What were they crying to the Most High? What were they asking the Most High for? Deliverance. Right? When we pray, we got to make sure with all the prayers that we send up, don't forget to pray for deliverance. Don't forget to pray for that. Okay? Because without that prayer to the Most High, how can he hear our cry? How can we hear us crying out to him? Just like he heard us in Egypt, he heard us crying out for the bondage, right? Sometimes we just look to make Egypt more comfortable. Lord, if you could just make it more comfortable for me. How about you pray that we get out of here, right? They didn't pray for more comfort in Egypt. They prayed for deliverance, and the Most High heard them. Okay, let's read.
And the Most High heard their groaning, and the Most High remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob.
Come on.
And the Most High looked upon the children of Israel, and the Most High had respect unto them.
Right, and the Most High had respect and honor unto them. He looked upon the children of Israel and said, you know what? That's my people. I'm going to save them. Read.
Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert, and came to the mountain of the Most High, even to Horeb.
Right.
And the angel of the Most High appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, And behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed.
So what does that mean? Now you got to think when these things are written, it's a they're written as visions. The writer, the author, has to write with the things that they know, right? So they're writing of the things that they know. So they say it was a fire in the bush and the bush wasn't consumed. What is that talking about? Somebody else? A light that looked like fire, right? A light that appeared to be like fire. What color is fire? What color is fire?
Right.
Red, amber, right? Fire. What has that color? Hold that and give me Ezekiel. One and four. One and three and then four.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
The word of the Most High came expressly unto Ezekiel, the priest, the son of Buz, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Chebar. And the hand of the Most High was there upon him.
Right, come on.
And I looked, and behold.
So the Most High sent his angels to converse with Ezekiel. And he looked and beheld. Let's see what he saw. Read.
And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself.
Right.
And a brightness was about it.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber.
The color of what?
Amber.
The color of what?
Amber.
The color of amber. What's the color of amber? If you look behind us on the LOZ sign, right? That's the color of amber towards the top of the sign where the flames are. Okay. So when he said the bush was burning, it was because why? There was what there? But what was there? What was bringing the light? We just read it in Ezekiel. What brought the light? Huh? The cherub, right? We just witnessed the angel. It would seem that he is on fire. Everybody understand that? The brightness of him. So it wasn't like, I know sometimes they give us these Hollywood depictions in our head and we see in a bush and it's on fire in our head. No. There's an angel, right, descending upon this bush, right? That is conversing with Moses. All right, everybody understand that? Right? Of the color of amber, the color of fire. Right? Read on.
Someone told me that fire is also blue.
It's blue when you have a gas flame.
Right. That's why.
Anyway, read on.
Try to make it seem like, that
Yeah.
Caesar picture. You know what I mean? That's what
Nah.
he was talking about. All right. So anyway, let me go back to
read Ezekiel 4 again, 1 and 4.
Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself.
So that's the chariot is talking about there. The whirlwind, the great cloud, and the fire enfolding itself is the angelic chariot. They call them UFOs today. All right. He saw that coming from the north. And then what happened? Read on.
And a brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof.
Out of the midst of that chariot came what?
As the color of amber.
Color of amber. Here comes the angel. Read on.
Out of the midst of the fire.
Read on.
Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man.
Right. They had a likeness of a man. So this angel came in his glorious body, which had these faces and these likenesses. Right. One of the likenesses was of a man. Okay. So now we know, we're not go too far into Ezekiel, what the angels look like to a certain extent. Right. They're coming with a fire. They're coming with a brightness. Okay. Let's go back to
chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Question there?
Yeah, let's put down Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 3. What is a lot? Can you read that for me?
Ezekiel 8.
Verse 3. I seen this years ago, but I didn't
It's here interlocked. I believe that's talking about the here.
Yeah, Ezekiel had box.
Right. It's here interlocked. Right.
There was also amber around the throne of the Most High.
That's right. Amber around the throne of the Most High. That show you that's how they illuminate. That's how the angels, the powers of heaven, when they illuminate, they look like fire, an amber light, like a fire, like a raging fire. Okay. You see that on the news when they showed Australia, right? The whole sky was what? Who saw that? Anybody saw it on the news when they showed Australia? The whole sky was amber. Everything, the whole place is on fire. All right. Hallelujah. Right? Most High is bringing his presence.
The book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Most High saw that he turned aside to see, the Most High called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here I am. Here
Right.
am I.
Here am I, just like his father said. So he went to see how is this possible that this light and this, it seemed like there's fires in this bush and it's not burning. So he trying to look aside, look around it to see what is this. And then he heard the voice come out from the angel speaking unto him. Read on.
And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground.
Come on.
Moreover, he said, I am the Most High of thy father, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the Most High.
So when somebody asks you if you believe in God, right? Your answer, of course, would be yes, Khan. What God do you believe in? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the God you believe in, right? That's the God you serve. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? In the Hebrew, Yahweh is his name, but that's the God he is. He's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so now you have an identity to your God, because a lot of people say they believe in God, but what God? Which God? Right? We have here. This book here is called the Encyclopedia of Gods. Over 2,500 deities of the world. Right? There's over 2,500 gods out there. What God do you believe in? The true and living power. Right? Because our reality-wise, how many gods are there? It's just one. Right? Give me Psalms 86. I can't 186. 86 and 5. 86 and 4. Let me see. 86 and 8.
The book of Psalms, chapter 86 and verse 8. Among the gods, there is none like unto thee, O Yahweh. Neither are there any works like unto thy works.
Come on.
All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O
Right.
Yahweh.
All these nations have gods, but eventually these nations got to come and worship the one and true power. All right. All those gods going to be taken out of the way. Read on.
All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Yahweh, and shall glorify thy name.
Right.
For thou art great,
Thou art what?
great,
Read on.
and doest wondrous things.
Uh-huh.
Thou art the Most High Yahweh alone.
Read the way it say.
Thou art God alone.
Thou art God alone. So the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is God alone. All these other gods are fake. Now we can go to 96. Psalms 96 and 4. 5. 96 and 5. All these other gods are fake.
Psalms 96 verse 4.
Mhm.
For the Most High is great
Right.
and greatly to be praised.
And greatly to be praised. The Most High is great and greatly to be praised. Read on.
He is to be feared
Right.
above all gods.
Above what?
Above all gods.
Read on.
For all the gods of the nations,
Because all these other gods, these 25, 4,099s. Read on.
For all the gods of the nations
Uh-huh.
are idols.
Are what?
Idols.
Are idols. They're fake. They're phony. Read on.
But the Most High made the heavens.
So the Most High created the heavens, man. It's one power that created the heavens, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. All the other gods are fake and phony. Everybody understand that? So now you know what God you serve. Everybody ask what God you believe in? I believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. Let's go back to Exodus.
Exodus chapter 3, verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey,
Right?
unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them.
Mhm.
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Right. So he said he come to save the children of Israel from amongst all these nations. What all those nations have in common that he named? They, they're all what? They're all of Hamitic lineage. The Hittites, the Jebusites, the Perizzites, they all are the children of Ham. Okay. So he came, the first child we needed to be saved from was by the hands of Ham. All right. Let's read on.
And Moses said unto the Most High, who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt?
Right. So Moses ain't get what the Most High was saying. He said, how am I going to get the children out of there? That's not what the father said. Who did the father say going to take them out? He said, I'm going to take them. Most High said, I'm taking them out. I'm going to send you to talk to Pharaoh. But the Most High is who's saving the children of Israel. All right, read on.
And he said, certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee, that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve the Most High upon this mountain.
Upon what?
This mountain.
All right, so where they at right now? They're at Horeb, the Mount of Horeb. Okay. He says he prophesied, you're going to come back here. After you take them out, you're going to come right back through here. Read on.
And Moses said unto the Most High, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the Most High of your fathers have sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them?
Right.
And the Most High said unto Moses, I am that I am.
Right.
And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am, have sent me unto you.
Right. He said, I am sent you. And when you break that down in the Hebrew, it means that he exists. Right. Am means to exist. Okay. I am, I exist, and I sent him onto the power that exists. Read on.
And the Most High said, moreover, unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel,
Uh-huh.
the Most High, the power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob have sent me unto you. This is my name forever.
What's his name forever? The power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. He said, this is my name forever. Okay. So he let him know that's his name forever. You know what I mean? Right. That's right. Out of his own mouth. He's a part of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said, tell him that power sent you. Read on.
And this is my name, and this is Slakia. This is my name forever,
Hmm.
and this is my memorial unto all generations.
Right. So unto all generations, we're supposed to remember him as the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Everybody understand that? That's who he is. You know?
Go and gather the elders of Israel together, and say unto them, the Most High, the power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, appeared unto me, saying, I have surely visited you and seen that which is done to you in Egypt.
Right. So he reiterated again. Right. When you go and talk to them, tell them that the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob has sent me on to you. So it's very clear what his name is. Right. You might hear some people say Ashar, Haya Ashar, right? And they say that's his only name, his real name. Yahweh is not his name. This is all um, confusion due to the fact that we haven't got our heritage back, right? Due to the fact that we don't know our Hebrew properly. If we know our Hebrew properly, we wouldn't have any confusion, right? We know that I am is present and past tense is he is, right? And that's how you get Yahweh, right? But he was going to say,
Some people say Shem or Shem. Shem is like name.
mm-hmm.
The name also means reputation. So
Yeah.
when he mentioned the forefathers, the reputation that I dealt with them,
Mm-hmm.
that's who I am today.
Right, I'm that name, Hashem, right? The name Hashem. Right? You might people say they might use the term Hashem to represent the Most High, right? Yeah, put some respect on his name. That same name. Okay. So these are different things you'll hear. You hear Hashem, you hear Ahaya, you hear Yahweh, you hear different dialects of Yahweh, Yahuwah, right? Right? Yeshua is something totally different, right? Yeshua is the son, not the father. You don't say Yahweh, right? That's another word for the Father. You hear Yahweh, right? You hear Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahweh. All right, they mess with our Bible, add the J sound, all right, and then they came with Jehovah. All right. But what was his name to Abraham? To Abraham. What was his name to Abraham? What name did he come to him? He couldn't have been that because what was his name? Who remembers? Al Shaddai. That's right. The power enough. All right. The power that's enough. Al Shaddai. He came to Moses. Al Shaddai. The power that's enough. So what? What we're learning here is that the Most High, he could come with different names. Everybody understand that? But in all that he's come with, he told us his name for all generations is going to be the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's my name for all generations. Right? So that's the name that we serve. All right. Hallelujah. Let's read.
Verse 17. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt onto the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites onto a land flowing with milk and honey.
Right. So ancient Israel, before it was called Israel, it was the land of the Hittites, the Amorites. Let me get that sign, Canaan. Right. And who dwelt there? The Hittites, the Jebusites, the Perizzites got there. When we got there, it was changed to the land of Israel. So the land is named after the people. The people are not named after the land. Does everybody understand that? As we grew up in this society, we name people according to where they was born. Right? You say, he's born in Trinidad. They say, well, I'm Trinidadian. Right? If you was born in the Bahamas, right? They say, I'm what? I'm Bahamian. Right? Guyana, Guyanese. Right? So these different areas, the people name themselves after the land, which is backwards. Totally backwards. The land was named after the people. That's how lands were named. Right? Our name came from where? Our forefathers. Okay, our lineage. Right? And we realize it even more so because if somebody from Jamaica, right? So-called from Jamaica, right? Because they'd be called Jamaican, right? Or from Mexico, all right? They'd be called Mexican, have a child in in China, is anybody gonna call that China Chinese? Nobody's gonna call that child Chinese. Nobody, right? They can either pass for Jamaican or somebody might say they're Mexican, right? But nobody's gonna call them China. Why not? Because we associate the Chinese people to a certain people, right? In the Bible, it's called Ammon, right? We associate them to a certain people, huh? Huh? Moab, sorry, Moab, right? Ammon is Japanese. Moab, right? We associate them with a certain people, Oriental, okay? So that's why we know that our nationalities that we claim to cannot possibly be right because we move around, right? We move around. So we can't be connected to any particular landmass. We are all the children of Israel. Israel, the man, not the land. Everybody understand that? All right. So let's read on. All right, Khan. So this land now renamed by the children of Israel when we got there, this was the land of Canaan. And this was the land of the Hittites, the Perizzites.
And they shall hearken to thy voice, and thou shalt come, thou and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt, and ye shall say unto him, the Most High, the power of the Hebrews, have met with us. And now let us go, we beseech thee, 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Most High our power. Verse 19. And I am sure that the king of Egypt will not let you go. No, not by a mighty hand. And I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do in the midst thereof. And after that, he will let you go. And I will give this people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty, but every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourneth in her house jewels of silver, jewels of gold, and raiment, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians.
Right. So it was prophesied that when we leave Egypt, that they're gonna want to give us their stuff just for us to leave. Right? They're gonna willing to pay us to leave. By the time we leave Egypt, they're gonna want us to pay us to leave. All right. That was the prophecy of us leaving Egypt. Okay. Given by the Moses, by the Most High to Moses, right? That when we leave, right, we're not just gonna leave silently, right? Because when you tell him to let us go, he's not gonna let us go. And the Most High said, I'm going to stretch forth my hand, show my power, make a name for myself in the earth. All right. So the Most High used this situation to what? To put a name, a dreadful name of his power in the earth. Okay, let's read.
We are Exodus chapter 4, verse 1. And Moses answered and said, but behold, they will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice, for they will say, the Most High have not appeared unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High said unto him, what is that in thy hand? And he said, a rod. He said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent. And Moses fled from before it. And the Most High said unto Moses, put forth thy hand and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand. That they may believe that the Most High, the power of their fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, have appeared unto thee.
Right. So what? What did he knew? He had to give Moses something for the people to believe. What was that? A sign, right? He had to give him a sign. He had to give him power. He said, the people ain't going to believe, but I'm going to give you power so that they will believe. I'm going to show them signs, right, of a greater power so that the people do follow you. All right, read on.
And the Most High said, furthermore, unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom.
Mm-hmm.
And he put his hand into his bosom, and when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
Mm-hmm. Right. So he put his hand in his bosom. He pulled it out. It was leprous as snow. I can't really see that one. Right. So you know what was his hand? It had to have color before he put it in there. Right. Read on.
And he said, put thy hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
Right. It was turned again as his other flesh. That means the other flesh was what? It was brown. He put it in his bosom, brought it out, it was white. He put it back in his bosom, he brought it out, it was brown. This is a sign that he's showing Moses, you have power now, right? You have power now. The power is with you. The Father's with you now. So you can do more than what you were able to do in past times, okay? So he was building up Moses's confidence and his faith to go forth and do this work. All right. If you had a question. No, why would they? That's not good for business. That's right. It's not good for business. Right? Christianity is a way of keeping us in the dark. You know, keeping us away from our true history, away from our true heritage, and it's working wonderfully. Right? It's working really well. All right. Let's read on.
Exodus 4:8. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign.
Right.
And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither hearken unto thy voice, that thou shalt take of the water of the river and pour it upon the dry land. And the water which thou takest out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. And Moses said unto the Most High, O my Lord, I am not eloquent, neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech and of a slow tongue.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High said unto him, who have made man's mouth? Or who maketh the dumb or deaf, or the seeing or the blind? Have not I the Most High?
Right.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth and teach thee what thou shalt say.
Right. So Moses didn't want to go. He did not want to go to speak unto Pharaoh. But what did the Most High tell him? He said, I made your mouth. Right? How are you going to tell me you can't do something that I already put in you to be able to do? So a lot of times we think ourselves what we can and cannot do, but the Most High know you can do greater than what you think you can do. Because he knows you before you knew yourself. Hold that. Give me Jeremiah. You know what I want? 1 and 4. You remember? He wasn't what? Fluent in Hebrew? Well, he's more talking about fearing to do this work than what his verbal ability was. Slow tongue, meaning that he's not a quick like witty and quick, you know what I mean? Wise words and like Aaron. He said Aaron was a lot better speaker than me, but I see where you're going with it. Maybe because he grew up in Egypt house, he didn't speak the Hebrew that well. But he would be talking to Pharaoh in Egypt's tongue. He wouldn't be speaking in Hebrew. All right? Go ahead, read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 4. Then the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb I sanctified thee,
Come on.
and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
Right. So there's an ordaining and a sanctifying that goes on before you're even born. Does everybody understand that? Before you're born, you're ordained and sanctified to do what the Most High wants you to do. So you don't have to wait for somebody to sanctify you and ordinate you to do His will, because He knew you before you was born. Everybody understand that? So this is Moses is thinking about himself now and his capabilities now. The Most High is letting him know, I made your capabilities. I know what you could do better than what you know. All right. So in this time, also don't underestimate, if you give yourself over to the Most High, what He can use you for. All right. You have to be willing and able to do whatever the Most High have you do. Everybody understand that? Okay. You may not have been bred to do a certain work, but if the Most High is using you in that capacity, you have to roll. You have to be obedient. Okay. You have to be obedient. All right. So let's go back to Exodus.
Exodus 4 and verse 12. Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say.
Right.
And he said, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand of him who thou wilt send. And the anger of the Most High was kindled against Moses.
Right, because Moses still disbelieving. When you don't have faith in the abilities of the Most High, that angers the Heavenly Father. Everybody understand that? If you try to short the Most High, He's telling you that He could do this thing, and you say, I'm not sure, I don't think you can do it. The Most High looking at you like, what do you? I created everything. I have power over all things. How can you go to the Most High and say this cannot be done or that can't be done? That's just a lack of faith and understanding. And that brings the Most High to anger with us. Okay, so we don't want to tempt the Most High, huh? So anything the Most High put before us, we got to take it on willfully. All right? That we don't anger the Spirit of the Most High. All right, let's read.
And the anger of the Most High was kindled against Moses.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I know that he can speak well. And also, behold, he cometh forth to meet thee. And when he seeth thee, he will be glad in his heart. And thou shalt speak unto him and put words in his mouth, and I will be with thy mouth and with his mouth, and will teach you what ye shall do. And he shall be thy spokesman unto the people, and he shall be, even he shall be to thee instead of a mouth, and thou shalt be to him instead of the Most High.
Right. So what? The Most High going to deal with Moses, and Moses going to tell Aaron. Everybody understand that? Order is being set up. Moses is above Aaron, but Aaron is the better speaker. So Aaron is going to go and speak. Moses is going to tell Aaron what to say. Most High going to tell Moses. Okay, read.
And thou shalt take this rod in thy hand, wherewith thou shalt do signs. And Moses went and returned to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said unto him, let me go, I pray thee, and return unto my brethren which are in Egypt, and see whether they be yet alive. And Jethro said to Moses, go in peace. And the Most High said unto Moses in Midian, go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life.
Right. So the ones that were trying to persecute Moses for what? Why were they seeking Moses' life? For killing the Egyptian. Right. So those that had the bounty for his head for the murder, right, for the killing that Egyptian, right, which was in defense of a Hebrew, all those men are dead. So you ain't got to worry about them anymore. So the people that's there, nobody has a charge for your head right now. Let's go. Read on.
And the Most High said unto Moses in Midian, go return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life. And Moses took his wife and his sons and set them upon an donkey, and he returned to the land of Egypt. And Moses took the rod of the Most High in his hand. And the Most High said unto Moses, when thou goest to return on into Egypt, see that thou do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in thy hand. But I will harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Most High, Israel is my son, even my firstborn.
Even my what?
Even my firstborn.
Right. So Israel is the Most High's son, even his firstborn. That's a relationship we have with the Most High. What does the firstborn get? The inheritance. So the inheritance is coming to you all. Right? Read on.
And I say unto thee, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if thou refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay thy son, even thy firstborn. And it came to pass by the way in the inn that the Most High met him and sought to kill him. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me.
Right. So what's happening here? What's going down now? What's happening? Somebody break down what just happened there. You Joe. Uh-huh. 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 Yep. It's gonna take his son out, right? So he said, listen, you're gonna circumcise him right now. Right? And they circumcised him right away and threw this foreskin upon the ground. All right. So obedience. Obedience. As the time comes closer to our salvation, we have to pay attention to the word obedience. Because that's what's only that's going to speak for us in these last days. Everybody understand that? We need that obedience. So she showed herself obedient to the will of the Most High. Right? Even though it sounded a little gruesome, it was about obedience. Okay, let's read. Say it again. It was going to kill Moses. Oh, Salaki, it was going to kill Moses, not the child. Okay. Let's read on.
Let me read 24. That's what Atlap is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass by the way in the inn that the Most High met him and sought to kill him. Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and said, surely a bloody husband art thou to me.
Mm-hmm.
So he let him go. Then she said, a bloody husband thou art because of the circumcision. And the Most High said to Aaron, go into the wilderness and meet Moses.
So he said that's Moses that the angel's going to kill? Okay. Okay. Come on. Yeah.
Moses was already doubting him.
Right.
Right.
So it was a lot of
Because I doubt. Yeah.
a lot of
Then I guess it was a man thing too. You know, he wanted to go and his son, you know, and cut the foreskin of his son. Rado, he felt kind of, I guess he felt bad. So his wife said, listen, let me handle this.
She handled it. Okay. Let's read on.
All right. And the Most High said to Aaron, go into the wilderness to meet Moses. And he went and met him in the mount of the Most High and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words of the Most High who had sent him and all the signs which he had commanded him. And Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. And Aaron spake all the words which the Most High have spoken unto Moses and did the signs in the sight of the people. And the people believed. And when they heard that the Most High had visited the children of Israel and that he had looked upon their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshiped. Chapter 5.
Right. Then they bow their heads and worship. Okay. So they realized that The Most High is with Aaron and Moses. All right, they were convinced. So they said, okay, we're gonna worship the Most High, and we're gonna go get this. So basically, what's happening here? He's building his faith and warriors to go with him to go up to Pharaoh. So he is going up to Pharaoh by himself, right? They're uniting to go up to Pharaoh to stand before Pharaoh. Okay. You have chapter 5 here. We'll take the break now before I go into chapter 5. Okay. So at this time, we have really just chapter 5 to do, but we're going to take the break. We take a break at 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock break. So you can stretch your legs, restroom, get something to eat, things of that sort. And then we'll continue with chapter 5. We break from 3 to 4. 4 o'clock, we need to be back in our seats to finish this portion. Con? At this time, we do the announcements. Before we do announcements, anybody, this is your first time with the Light of Zion, first time coming to Light of Zion, first time being in our service, raise your hand. If it's your first time, get the Most High hand for them. All right, all praises, hallelujah. The water for coming, the water for being with us on this Shabbat day. Your presence is a blessing. We look for all the children of Israel to return to the Most High. So we pray that thou enjoy this this convocation and that we see you once again shortly. All right, we're here every Shabbat day. You know, we have Wednesday wisdom, Thursday just for the men. We have Friday and Saturday services here at the Light of Zion. Every Hebrew is very important to us here at the Light of Zion. All right. So any other announcements we have going on with the announcements? Marshall with
So
the
far,
announcements.
January 24th at evening is going to be the new moon.
Everybody get that? When is the new moon?
At evening.
January 24th at sundown. We usually do the services start at 7. So January 24th at 7 is the new moon. Con? All right. Question? Con. All right. So at January 24th at sundown is the new moon. Okay. Any other question? Any other announcements? I know you got more. We got a bunch more.
Well, you know, we know that the Hebrew Summit is coming up, right, Con?
Con.
All right. So we getting in the midst of our preparation, preparing for a bunch of Hebrews from all over the world to come down here, and we're going to be hosting it. That's going to be the opening is going to be February 6th, the meet and greet, right? And then Friday evening is going to be, the meet and greet is going to be at Gold Choice, by the way. So we'll give you the address at Gold Choice, and Friday evening will be the luncheon from 4 to 6, and then we'll have the Unity Camp around 7 p.m. And then Saturday we're going to have the Sabbath service, and then after the Sabbath service we're going to have the actual summit, and then after that we're going to have a concert. So those of you that want to attend, I'm sorry, the Sunday is the family day. We're going to have a barbecue. But if those of you that want to attend all these days, we have the Eventbrite. You can go on and purchase your tickets. So when you get there, you can have your armband and show that you have your tickets and everything involved. So you can be involved with each day. Okay? All right. So we'll put it up on the screen later today so everybody can have more information. Tells you one. Well, before you go to the break, you can put it up there on the screen. All right. So they can.
Yeah, we're going to have to do the preparation for the new moon today.
We have to do preparation for the new moon today, right?
Right? Because it's Friday. Today's the 18th. It's Friday.
Yeah. So.
All right. So, we have to do the preparation for the new moon. What we do for the preparation of the new moon is we go around the room and we ask what everybody can bring. This is how we do every new moon. Everybody brings a dish, and then that creates the new moon. All right. Everybody can cook or drink or everybody can drink. Everybody can cook. Or they can bring drinks, or they can bring utensils, or we can bring burners, or you can bring whatever desserts or whatever. So we go around the room. We make a list for the new moon. We're gonna have to do that today because this is the last time we're gonna be gathered in entirety before the actual new moon celebration. Do it when? We can try. Okay. So the break is going to be shortened, or do you want to just do it now? The break is over at 4 no matter what. When we started. Do the preparation now? All right. So we describe the preparation for the new moon. We can describe the preparation. Everybody write it down. What's the name here? Here to go what? Oh, drop the children. Okay. Okay, you gonna do it? Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do right now? We're gonna go around the room real quick. Remember, this is for Friday the 24th. That's Friday coming sundown. What we're gonna ask is, what can you bring? Right. We start with the men and then we go to the women. Right. It is Hebrew custom. It's the law that we don't come empty-handed to any high holy day. So even if it's something small, even if it's a monetary donation, there's nothing too small. There's of course nothing too big, right, to bring to the service. Generally, what we bring dishes. That's what we mean. But of course, along with dishes, we need utensils, drinks, different types of drinks, different types of desserts, everything. So keep in mind, this is for Friday sundown. All right. Friday at 7, we'll be right here keeping a new moon celebration. Okay. So now we'll start in the front and we'll work our way around. Um, go ahead. I'll come back to you. Uh, Bishop Locke,
I bring the turkey and the black.
put them down for turkey and blends. All right. Marsha, is she here?
Apple juice. Sorry. Some juice.
All right. You can put me down for some vegetables, mixed vegetables, um, cooked vegetables. All right. Um, Tazayan, say it loud. Say it louder. What kind of rice? White rice? Rice and peas? Rice and peas and fried chicken? Okay, put them down for rice and peas and fried chicken. Tells you one. Wow. I know. A lot changed in a week, man. I was only missing for 1 week. And the man said he bringing rice and peas and fried chicken. We'll talk about it. All right. I'm on, Captain. Sandwich platter. Number one. Brother, what's your name again? Solomon. All right, Solomon. Will you make it Friday, sundown? Well, most high willing. Hallelujah. What are you gonna bring? It could be food. It could be utensils. It could be something to drink. It could be desserts. I don't know. What's the capability? Uh huh. You bring some wine. You bring some wine. All right. He'll bring some wine. Right. Wine is fine. No liquor is quicker. His name is Solomon. Shamwa Allah. Apple pie. Hallelujah.
Get a piece of the pie, man.
Piece of the pie. You know what's right. What's your name again, brother? K- Yeah, Caleb. Caleb. All right, Caleb. You make it Friday. Okay. Some snacks like cookies. Put them down for cookies. Caleb is his name. Daith. Will be less sugar in it this time. Okay. He gonna make that cake, man. That pound cake. That homemade pound cake. Captain. Captain Dial. All right. Um, Kazak,
There's a couple of vehicles blocking a few people from leaving. It's a burgundy Scion.
who has a burgundy Scion? Babu Shah, we need to. That's him right there.
They over there doing drills and formation.
Um, I thought drills and formation was done at 3:30. Captain, I'm on. So why are they out there doing drills and formation? Yes. All right. Kazak, Kazakia. There he is. Apple and grape juice. Kazakia. All right. Judah. Moray, Judah. Chili. Okay. Got that homemade chili. I'll hook it up. Um, don't tell me. I should know it by now. Um, I miss it. What's his name again? Other than ASAP's brother, Kyrum. I don't know why I keep forgetting Kyrum. And I knew he's not the first Kyrum I know, but Kyrum, go ahead. Donation, okay, Kyrum. Hallelujah. Put Kyrum down for a donation, brother. What's your name behind? Is that Yaradan? Yaradan, right? All right, Jordan. Okay, wine. All right, put him down for wine. All right. I know it's Javian, but you don't have a Hebrew name yet. Javian, Rabbi. Do you have a Hebrew name yet?
That's my name.
Okay, okay. We got working his Hebrew name now. He been coming strong. We gotta get him Hebrewed up.
It's
Javian.
Javin. Supposed to play Hebrew, something like that.
Okay.
I'll bring him on.
Monetary. Okay. Zob. Baked chicken. Baked chicken for Zob. Ana. Mangu. All right. Hallelujah. That's a mangu. All right. Asher. We got Asher bringing sodas. Emmanuel. Mac and cheese. Okay. Hallelujah. Got Emmanuel bringing the mac and cheese. Behind you, what's his name? What's his name, brother? Right behind Emmanuel. I know. You just come with Omar? He's just come with you? Okay, Omar. Plates and utensils? All right. Omar, utensils and plates. Got Hebrew name too? Oh, yeah, we got to get a Hebrew name too, huh? And juice? Okay, for the kids. Juice for the kids, children. Okay. All right. Noah, curry goat? Okay. Are you working with Yerumia? Okay. So Noah and Yerumia is collaborating some curry goat. Noah's gonna kill the goat. Yerumia's gonna season it. They're gonna collaborate, and then the goat's gonna show up curried up. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. All right, I'm looking forward to it. Abaddon, wine and cranberry juice. I like a mix. Okay. Yeah. Abaddon, Father Dan, Father Judgment, Abba Don, Dan. Okay. What's that brother name again? With the dreads.
That's, Joshua.
Right. What's his name again? Right, remember? Bacaria. There he goes. What you bringing? Collard greens. That's it. Bacaria. Bacaria. Um, the brand new Hadar.
Brand new dog.
That right. He knew. You want to see how new he is? I saw you. Didn't see how new he is. Oh man, you gotta see him. Say it again. Chicken and beef patties. Okay. Oh, patties. Okay, chicken and beef patties. Right. Came in here looking new. I ain't recognize. I said I look like Hadar. But, Yashwan. Rice and Yashwan is bringing rice and peas. Yashwan. Yep. Yashran. Yashwan. Yeah. Shanshwan. Oh, well, what we're doing here is we're getting the food to. Oh, okay. Oh, you said kind like you didn't know what was happening. So, thought I was explaining it to you. Strong drink. Just strong drink, I guess. Um, water. Um, yeah, itazar. Potato salad. Yeah, itazar. Zamar. Cake. What kind of cake? Okay. It better be.
Better get it popped in. He's,
Better not
he's
be
captain now, right?
Captain Zamar. Yes.
Captain Zuma.
All right. Aria. A vest, a heat vest for the priest. That's a what? And cornbread. Put him down with cornbread. Well, I tell you. Who else we got back there hiding out? Do I have everybody from the back? Where's Yakanan? I didn't hear from Manatazak. I didn't hear from Yakanan. Huh? Well, Manatazak is coming up. Kadash is back there. Levitical mac and cheese from Yakanan. How about Kadash? Fruits? What kind of fruits? Whatever we want. I appreciate you. Put them down for fruits. Mac and cheese. He said Levitical, but I'm not sure if is he making it or what? Huh? Your mama's gonna make it? All right, it'll be Levitical then. All right. Is there anybody else in the back that I have not seen? Oh, Karash. No, Kadash said he's bringing fruits. Okay, Kadash. Karash says the fruit you need to bring has to be sour sap, right? So we need you to bring sour sap. You got that covered? You got it covered out. All right, there it goes. So you got it covered. Uh huh. Steamed cabbage. So he got you bringing sour sap, and all he bringing is steamed cabbage. Y'all brothers, I gotta work it out amongst yourselves, right? Because that's a lot easier than that. What? What? Who? Oh, yeah, a cut. Strong drink. You got your check his ID. Talking about strong drink. Check his ID. Strong juice, right? A cut. Can get somebody to get it. All right. Is everybody? I got everybody from the back. All right, sisters. Oh, Samson. I thought you were bringing peppermint. What are you bringing? What do you say? Peeled orange. All right, sisters. Whatever you bring, you bring. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start from the back, work my way to the front. So, Sister Parathia. Yeah, Parathia. Yes. You need a moment. I will come back to you. Sister Hanukkah. Want to make it? Okay. Uh, Sister Chantel. Won't make it that night. Sister Bara'ah. Ice cream. Okay. Bara'ah. Uh-huh. Bara. Okay. Alexis. To go plates and cookies. Cupcakes. All right, cupcakes. Okay. Sister Marcia. Sister Marcia. Not sure if you can make it. Okay. All right. Is that Shakira I'm seeing right there? Sister Shakira? Monetary donation. Okay. Sister, what's your name again? Cheyenne. Cheyenne, right? Okay, Cheyenne. You won't make it? You don't what to bring? You don't know what to bring? What she said to me? You need more time? Come back to her? All right. All right. You gotta speak loud. I'm getting up there in age. You gotta get at me. All right. Oh yeah, you're gonna bring the chili. Okay. Is any of the daughters cooking anything specific that they would like to I'm just saying, she said she's gonna make the chili that he's gonna bring. That's what sister I yeah. So that's what you're gonna bring? The blueberry apple thing? Crumble. All right. Blueberry apple crumble. All right. Hallelujah. Okay. All right. We need burners. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got. We have I'm sorry, sis, I don't know your name. The blue headscarf? Yes, you I'm sorry, I don't Raquel. Okay, Raquel. Will you make it to the service Friday at even? And could you bring something? Chicken wings? Okay. Okay. Chicken wings. Hallelujah. You got it down. Raquel's bringing chicken wings. You got it, sis? You got it right. Okay. All right. A sister next to Raquel with the peach, I believe, headscarf. Wh- What's your name? Kiana. All right, Sister Kiana. Will you make it Friday? And could you bring something? Okay, we bringing the wings. Okay, I got it. I'm with it. I'm with you. So, Sister Kiana is going to assist in the wings that will be brought. Okay, talk to me. Donations for the burners. Okay, Rona. Uh, Rana in the Hebrew. So you say it the right way. Rana in Hebrew. All right. So I guess monetary donation. I guess um, you can give it to get the burners. Who should you give the monetary donation to? Just bring it up here. We'll get it. All right. Okay. Hannah, Sister Hannah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay. So both of them are gonna be rum. So you're gonna bring rum and rum. Okay, I got you. However, rum, right? My sister in the black headscarf. What? Maxine. Nice to meet you, Maxine. Fruitcake? Fruit platter. Oh, okay. I thought she was making a fruitcake. You know, like the with the rum in it, to put the alcohol and soak it in. Maybe. Okay, now I have my sister in the white. Wait again. Sophia. All right, Sister Sophia. Ice. We need that because it's got a lot of that, especially that rum. All right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Ice and cups is good. Maybe I bring some juice too. Okay. Down for some ice and cups, Sister Sophia. All right. Sister Brianna, you gonna make barbecue chicken? All right, I'm gonna check. All right, she making barbecue chicken. Sister Brianna. Okay. Sister Alyssa. All right, pigeon peas and rice. Yes. Yes. Sister Yashapa. Sweet plantains. Okay. That's gonna be like fried. Hallelujah. Sister Izaria. Okay. Uh huh. Jerk wings. Damn. Zazie, yeah, she be in that kitchen. I hear you.
What you bringing? Sakaya.
Trouble. Naomi, with vegetables. All right. Don't worry. Just put it a collaboration on the vegetables. Back to the front. Well, before I go back to the front, Malachi. Okay. You're not sure? You need help? You need assistance figuring out what kind? Is that I'm good at that. So I hit you with some I hit you with some lamb or some yeah, it is what it is. All right. Elder priest, stew chicken. Tuna salad is coming back. All right. Tuna salad strikes back. Now I gotta go all the way back to my sister Parathia. All right, because you don't think I forgot, because I don't forget things. I'm gonna say chow mein. Mess with me, huh? The chow mein, right? Yeah. You make a big chow mein, veggie one, a veggie chow mein. All right, hallelujah. I have to come back to Bara or no, um, Cheyenne. All right, Cheyenne. Water, yes, we can use some water. We got to wash down, all this stuff that's coming in here. All right, huh? Where's Salad platter. Okay. Lasagna. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna go on the break. Uh, oh, we got some people online that want to bring some stuff. Let's go. All right. Mathathua is bringing a lentil salad and strong drink. Okay. Hallelujah. That's for the vegans. You can get that. Lentil salad and strong drink. All right. All right. So we're gonna take the break now. Please be back in the seats by 4 o'clock. Hallelujah. Enjoy your break.